All right, what we want to talk about bovine breeder is the accessories that go along with it. In this case, we have an AI gun that has a sheath that covers it. Now, the gun has a metal tip here, and you want to be able to cover it with this plastic sheath, giving it a little protection, as well as when you insert into the reproductive tract, it is much easier to move through the reproductive tract and won't snag or anything of that nature. So you want to make sure that the sheath is on it. Once it's on there, you can keep that sheath on there for that reason. Now, we also have our what we call our poop bags here, and in this case it comes with 3 of them, and they can fit right into the rectum, and you can keep them in there and have students remove them as you do the practice. But it comes with that, and they can actually be put right into the rectum. Now, we also have gloves that come with it. The purpose of this again is to be as lifelike as possible, but we also want it to be so it does help and easier to get into the rectum for the students. Instead of the heat and things, this helps to take care of that. We don't use lubricant for this. This should be able to go in there without lubricant, so there is no mess and issue for cleanup for you. Another important thing is when you are using the glove, you should take things like your watch or your rings, those types of things, off before you put your glove on, so that it's not catching while you actually go into the rectum. Lastly then, we have the cervix rings. These rings fit right inside of the cervix in the reproductive tract. There are 3 of them. You can line them up to make it a little easier to get through the cervix for students, and they can all be, the holes be right in line, or you can move them based on the difficulty level, allowing them, but they then sit right inside of the cervix opening here, where you can actually see them in here for your students to then actually start reproductive AI training here. So what your needs. Now, talking about the reproductive tract, you have the bladder where you can actually go in, if you're not careful, with your AI gun. You can kind of feel down in here. I can go into the wrong area here if I'm not careful, so you want to make sure you're at a 45-degree angle. Once you get here, we have the opening so you as an instructor or students can see where they're at and what they're doing. In this case, I'm going to take out the rings, and so the rings are placed inside here up against the edge, and then I can actually close these rings in place. This allows me then to tightly put the rings in here, be able to see, and then start my AI and move through the different rings, trying to maneuver through the cervix and find where I'm at, allowing the student to be able to get through. Now, the thing about the cervix here is that depending on where those holes are for the different rings, it can be very difficult or easy depending on how straight those rings are. The great thing here is then once I actually get past the cervix, it opens up again, and you can actually see the tip of my gun here being able to then move and then allow the semen to go into the uterine horns. So it gives you that view for you to see as a training purpose. You can then also put down the hide and not be able to see as well, but you want to make sure that your rings are in place as you do the insemination. Those are different accessories for you to use and to have.